All right, what is going on, guys? Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the channel. We've got 9 NBA games. We're going to talk about each one, as always, give you my leans, and then I'm going to give you my 6 best bets. Another good day yesterday in the NBA. We're on an absolute tear. We are 26-6 on our last 32 plays, so pretty phenomenal. College basketball, still a struggle, man. Still a struggle. We keep picking the team that chokes at the very end, so most of those plays were looking pretty good until the end. Davidson was an absolute mind-boggling situation. They scored 5 points in the last 6 minutes of the game to lose by 1. Unreal. You just can't make that up. App State blew a game, so crazy. But we digress. No college basketball today. We're just going to focus on the NBA. I want to work on a few algorithm things just to tighten things up, see where we're at with that. All right, first game on the card, Celtics and the Pistons. Celtics coming off I wouldn't say an easy win last night versus Toronto. The only bet we lost was Emmanuel Quickly under 5.5 assists. Unfortunately, no Porzingis, no Horford. That absolutely killed that bet because Quickly was just able to get all of his assists for the most part on alley-oops and dunks because they had no big that could stop anyone underneath. So a little unfortunate there. But tonight we should have Porzingis back. I don't expect Horford to play. So minus 4.5 for a Celtics team on a back-to-back. It feels like too much, man. I'll be honest. I like the way this Pistons team's looking. So give me the Pistons plus 4.5 here. And an over of 225.5. It looks kind of light. Pistons team total, I want to say, is 110.5, something like that. So I wouldn't mind the over there. Trailblazers and the Wizards. We see the Wizards getting 6.5 at home against the Trailblazers. I mean, this is 2 really bad teams. Flip a coin. I would lean Wizards plus 6.5. I wouldn't even be opposed to very similar to the other day where I said take the Wizards money line at home. They ended up pulling it out. Very similar situation here. So I could see the Wizards potentially winning this one. So give me the Wizards plus 6.5. 76ers and the Knicks, no Joel Embiid. If I had to guess, he's probably done for the year. We see the Knicks minus 10.5. I just don't know if the Knicks have been playing well enough to cover 10.5. Everybody should be back tonight. Miles McBride's going to be back, so I can see it, but I'm not willing to go 10.5. We got an over-under of 230.5. I would lean towards the under in that game. Raptors and the Pacers. We got the Pacers minus 10.5. I think this is because they're seeing the Raptors. They got to travel, and they're on a back-to-back. I don't love it. If Jakob Poeltl plays, I'm definitely Raptors plus 10.5. If not, then I'd probably lean more towards the Pacers. Over-under of 233.5. I mean, this Pacers team doesn't really play a lot of defense. That said, the Raptors are okay, but the lines look a little too good, so I would lean more towards taking the Pacers team total over as opposed to touching anything with the Raptors. If I had to include them, I would probably lean towards the under or team total under. Hawks and the Heat. This one should be an interesting one. We've got the Hawks plus 2.5 after they just beat Miami in Atlanta. I don't think being at home is going to help this Heat team. They are just absolutely awful. Hawks, even without Jalen Johnson, are kind of getting by a little bit. Give me the Hawks plus 2.5. And this one, Thunder and the Nets, we see a 17.5 point spread. Crazy thing is the Nets are just absolutely god awful. So this is one, if I took high spreads, I'd probably take the Thunder minus 17.5. Over under of 216.5. I would lean towards the under. The Nets do play D. That's the one thing that they do. So I would have a lean towards the under in that case. Clippers and the Bulls, we see the Clippers minus 8.5. No Vucevic tonight. So without Vucevic, I just don't think Giddey and Ball and those guys are going to be anywhere near equipped to stop this Clippers team. So give me the Clippers minus 8.5. This certainly reeks of blowout potential. 229.5, very low for a Bulls game. Little on the higher end for a Clippers game. So I think that's pretty appropriately placed. Slight lean towards the under there. Kings and the Jazz, we see the Kings minus 9.5. Jazz has some injury issues, so no Collins tonight. I believe Clarkson's going to be starting at shooting guard. Laurie Markkinen's out. So yeah, Jazz plus 9.5. I just can't really get behind that when you're really just talking about Collier and Kessler. A couple things I do like. I like Kessler over his rebounds and assists. I have a lean towards Collier over his assists, but didn't pull the trigger. It's at 8.5. And then on the Kings side, we have a play there with Malik Monk. But yeah, give me the Kings minus a 9.5. Last game, Spurs and the Rockets. Rockets are going to be on a back-to-back. Spurs, they've been okay, but the Rockets, I think, are just way too much for them. Just without a center, it's a bad matchup for them. Even on a back-to-back, I think I would go Rockets minus 9.5 at home. All right, let's get into our plays. Get you guys on your way. Before we do that, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. That would be fantastic. Results from yesterday. Like I said, we went 4-1. Fred VanVleet did not play. So we gave out 6 plays. Only 5 ended up playing. Desmond Bane was pretty sweaty, but he ended up hitting his rebounds plus assists in overtime. Only needed 1 RA in the last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter, and he didn't get it done. Pretty wild. But he did get it done in OT for us. Harrison Barnes cashed within the first 5 minutes of the game. He went 2 for 2, ended up hitting 4 threes on the night, I believe. Let's see. What else did we have for recaps? Desmond Bane. We had Dante Exum under 6.5 rebounds plus assists. He ended up at 4. This ended up getting bumped all the way down to 5.5, and it was juiced to like minus 160 before the game started. And Derek White over 13.5 points. He had 12 points at halftime. Got us 1 more bucket pretty early in the third to cash this. He ended up with 19, so that was pretty sweat-free. All right, let's get into this NBA card today. All right, so Walker Kessler over 13.5 rebounds plus assist, minus 125 on ESPN Bet. He's over this in 7 of his last 10 games. Sacramento, if we look, they're very vulnerable to give up rebounds and assists to the center position, so that's why I'm including the assist. We typically kind of stay away from Kessler assists, but I think without Markkanen, without Collins, he's going to have to be the guy that goes and grabs boards. I think he's also going to be involved in touching the ball more, so that's why I'm including the assist. Sticking with centers to get assists, we're going to go Cat over 2.5 assists, minus 125 on DraftKings. This is minus 150 plus on your sharper books. So I do like this play. If we look at Philadelphia, they're 20th in assists allowed to the center position. So they do give up a decent amount of assists to centers. So I think this is a good spot to take Cat. Rebound lines at 13.5. If anything, I would lean towards the under, but I don't really want to touch it. The next play is going to be Scotty Barnes over 32.5 PRA. Usually a guy I think most people fade his PRA. I like this line because he's had a lot of success against Indiana. So he's over in 2 games this year. He was over in, I want to say 3 last year. So there's only been 1 game he's missed this line the last 2 years versus Indy. And when he's playing back-to-backs, he is over this line in 6 of 7 back-to-back games this season. If we look at Indy, very vulnerable to points. They're 28th in points. So if you just wanted to take his points, I think that's a good play. It's like 19.5 on most books. They're 26th in rebounds to the small forward position. Now, I included assist. It's not the best matchup for assist. I think they're 6th fewest, but the line's fairly low, and I feel pretty confident he's going to get at least 5. So I did include that in there. There's just times where he can pop off and get 7 or 8 assists. So that's where we're going with that. Next play is in that same game is going to be Tyrese Haliburton under 13.5 rebounds plus assists, minus 110 on ESPN Bet. He is over this in 50% of his last 30. So 15 of his last 30 games. Toronto does do a good job of limiting assists to the center position. And they're 16th in rebounds. So pretty mid there. I want to include his rebounds because there's a lot of games where he just gets lazy and has 1 or 2 rebounds. Every once in a while, he'll pop out a 4 or 5. If he does that, I think we still have a chance here. His assist line's at 9.5. So essentially, he would need 10 assists, 4 rebounds to cross this line. If we look over the last 10 games, he's only hit this line in 3 of 10. So we got a decent matchup here, and the Raptors will play defense. Hopefully, Jakob Poeltl plays. I do think that would help. Next play, James Harden under 26.5 points. This is just too many. He's only over this in 2 of 16 games with Kawhi in the lineup. Now, we don't have Norman Powell, So he should see a little bit more usage, but to me, man, I really like Zubac. Almost took his over 15.5 points. He just doesn't take enough attempts to make me feel comfortable going over that line. But he has an absolute wonderful matchup tonight. So there's some other guys with better matchups. Kawhi has a pretty good matchup. So we're just going to take his under. And then last play on the card, this is just a half a unit play. We're going to take Malik Monk over 6.5 assists at plus 115. He's over this in 5 of his last 10. Now you go back 15 games, he's over in 10 of 15. So as of late, he hasn't been getting a ton of assists, but he's got a beautiful spot here to get assists. Utah is 29th in assists to the guard position. So typically when you play Jazz, you usually play some assist props. Question is, will it be him or Levine, right? Or it could be both, right? But guards should be racking up assists tonight. And if we look, 13 of the last 15 guards have gone over their assist line versus the Jazz. So it is plentiful to get assists versus them. All right, so that is the betting card. If we look at the kind of the recap here, so on an absolute little heater in the NBA, we're up 17.5 units this week. So we've been on an absolute tear. College basketball has been the complete opposite. So we are down 8. So that has been rough. We are 8 and 15. You hate to see it, but all right, we're going to look at the algorithm on that one and probably bring back some college plays tomorrow. I'll post some leans in the Discord. If you guys want to join, the link is down below. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.